Hey, welcome to my video. This is the 11-month and 16-day check-in of No Nicotine, and getting right into it, I appreciate all the support over this amount of time and all the support currently, as well as past supporters and previous supporters and future supporters to come. I want to say thank you for everything, as well as subscribe if you're new to this channel, show some support. And thanks to all you that already support. We're in this together. Let's let that be known. And so after 11 months and 16 days without nicotine, I'll tell you that it's been a journey. I'm almost at the 1-year mark, and it has been a journey. Let me tell you that. I've gone through a lot. I've been around a lot of situations and scenarios where I've had to been tested on my path, where I've had to be challenged on my path, and I've overcome that. I've pushed through all those obstacles. I've pushed through all those challenges. And the reason why I started, making these videos was because I wanted to make a difference. I also want to teach. I also want to learn more about life and be able to relate to others who are going through the same experiences. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, you're relating to this at all, then go ahead and like the video, do whatever you can, and just show support, because we're trying to support what's real, support the real energy out here, and none of the agenda against small creators or against anyone, but we want to break the algorithm. We want to get our videos out there and stuff like that. And but yeah, guys, for sure, I want to tell you that I've started this for that reason. And none of that, not that the likes and stuff like that are important, or the subscribers or anything like that, but I always remind myself that it's not about that. It's more about the intention. So why did I start this? Well, it's because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to create content for people to relate to, and I wanted to learn and also teach from my experiences in life. And that right there is the whole thing. We can be a little less focused on, like the video. You don't have to like the video. You can in fact dislike the video. But what I'm saying is, like, dislike, whatever it may be, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And if it's not right for you, then it wasn't just right for you. And if you did like it, hey, then you liked it. It's up to you. But that isn't the most important part. The most important part is that I have the right intentions, that the right starting point is there, where I'm doing this for the reason of building a community, changing the reality that we live in, as well as supporting other people out there that are like-minded individuals. Because that's what it's really for. Like I said, we're in this together. Teamwork makes the dream work, and if we're going to be able to change the reality, we're going to all have to be on one accord. We're not going to have to be judging each other. We're going to all have to be in support of what's real, not what's fake. Not support what's fake. And that's just one thing I've been thinking about recently is not allowing anything to necessarily keep you in a state of stagnant or a state of not growing. And it's up to us to do that growing. It's up to us to be able to be the ones to see, there's this behavior that I'm checking my likes on my videos, or I'm checking my views on my videos. If I'm constantly obsessing about that, then all I'm going to be hyper focused on is seeing the outcome of it, and not so focused on the actual work and putting that work into it. So I got to look at that. I got to learn that, hey, I got to mentally understand that I got to push myself. I can't be collecting just little wins and having that validate me. No, I gotta self-validate and be like, regardless of what I see externally, I gotta internally do the work. I gotta internally do that growing in order to really be the image of what I want to portray and what I want to attract in this reality. And I have to physically put myself in the scenario of, okay, going through and making that actions and transmuting that energy like I'm doing right now, and being able to, like I said, transmute the energy, allow that energy to work in your favor. And of course, spiritually, that is helping me to be able to see the whole scenario that I'm in, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and whatever it may be, my whole experience as a whole. I can see that spiritually, that's allowing me to grow spiritually, and I'm able to see things in a different perspective, and I'm able to take that wisdom with me, take that knowledge with me into my next experience. So whatever I just experienced, I'm able to go through, I'm able to push through and be able to harness what I really need out of that, rather than the stuff that's gonna hold me back, so that's a good thing. And then of course, emotionally, I'm not gonna have my emotions be validated externally. Of course, when you see genuine support emotionally, you can give back genuine, right? I do believe in the give back rule when it's in terms of restoring balance, and if it's in terms of restoring justice, as well as serving justice and balance into life. That's an important role that we can play as individuals, and when we step into our higher power, it's almost as if it becomes part of our purpose and part of our reason for why we do what we do. And I'm sure if you're listening to this video, you have reasons for why you do what you do, and it's about turning those reasons into why you do what you do into reasons that this is why I do what I do, and this is what I get out of it, and this is the parts that are getting out of it are the parts that are actually helping you grow, not parts that are keeping you back, not parts that are keeping you stagnant or anything like that. And that's one thing for sure that I've learned over this almost a year. It's been 11 months and 16 days with no nicotine. And that's about a year. And I know I said, I've talked about in multiple videos, it doesn't feel like much time has gone by. And that, it felt that way at first, and I think that's just because either, I was just thinking about it too hard, or I was, kind of wrapped up with all my new experiences I was having and such like that. And really, I meant to say that it wasn't like, this took forever, I'm finally at 1 year. No, I'm realizing I'm at almost a year, but I'm realizing all that work that was done. Sure, I can be aware of that, and I can see that for what it is, but then I also am telling myself, like, hey, I've got a lot more work to do. Mentally, there's a lot more mental forms I need to discover. There's a lot more things that I need to adapt to mentally. There's a lot more things that I need to sharpen up mentally. There's a lot more things that I need to mentally discover in order to experience a new state of being mentally. And not only that, but physically, constantly working on physically perfecting the physical state of being in ways where your physical state of being is working best for you, whatever best suits you. And for almost everybody, that's going to be vitalizing your health, vitalizing your actions, vitalizing your situations physically, your scenarios physically, and what you're involved in. And when it comes to that, also pushing yourself and realizing that, hey, there's a process here, and if I don't go through this process physically, then there's no guarantee that I'm going to be here in X amount of time, or I'm going to make it to this certain situation, or I'm going to be able to take care in this situation and be able to get by with whatever's coming my way, whatever is in store in the future. And then when we talk about, hey, spiritually, there's always room for growth. that's what you're here to do, and it's for you to expand spiritually and to um, grow and learn, and to also be connected with something that is um, part of who we are, and part of you um, being that soul that is, in control of a mind that is in control of the body, and connecting with that and that soul purpose, your soul passion, your soul reasons for why you're here is something that needs to be done. That's something that always needs to be done. Of course, there's times where you're going to be on your path and you're not going to know necessarily what's for sure, what's for not sure, but to always have that faith in yourself is something big, and that can guarantee that you have big things to come, and that you're going to continue to put in that work spiritually as well as emotionally. There's much more to experience. There's much more emotions out here to experience, and the experience is still young. The experience is still new. There's much room for growth when it comes to that. And when I'm seeing unhealthy people, when I'm seeing people who are morbidly obese, who are also nicotine addicts, or who are also falling short in other areas of their life, or they are having and displaying toxic behaviors, I'm realizing mentally, hey, I was there. I cannot necessarily judge this person, even though I will have an opinion on it. I cannot necessarily judge this person because I was once where that person was. I was once carrying around that vape. I was once carrying around that device. And seeing at it and looking at it, it's like mentally, it's all good. This person's going to come to their conclusion. They have to come to the conclusion themselves mentally that that's not right for them and it's bad for you. And I'm also realizing that, hey, I see someone that is also not taking care of themselves physically. That's confirmation that people are neglecting the physical state of being. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I'm taking it at. That's the wisdom and knowledge that I'm deriving out of that situation, because I'm going to confirm that. I can see that action. I can see that behavior. And I've even talked about it previously on my channel. And so that's just a little bit of confirmation with that, mentally and physically, about taking care. When you slip, normally when one person, not normally, but a lot of times in a lot of certain situations, the so-called, oh, I have an addictive personality or whatnot, is just an excuse. And not necessarily an excuse, but it's really explaining that a person is not necessarily good at controlling their desires, or being responsible for their desires, and their desires have almost overtaken them and turned into addictions when it comes to food, nicotine, drugs, substances, anything, any toxic behavior, any actions that one might do in lieu of the negative aspects of that activity. And emotionally, I can see that people that are using and that are fixated on these have a sense of emotional immaturity when it comes to seeing and needing the validation and or reaction from others. I've also noticed that some people, they identify so much with their nicotine, and that can be a thing for them that where it increases their confidence. And I'm talking about not just nicotine, but any substance out there. It can come out and it can be a thing where, hey, this is boosting their confidence, but then that's the gift to it. But the curse to that is, hey, this person, every time they see someone that's not doing the activity that they like and the substance that they validate themselves with, they'll have it out here, right? They'll have it, they'll be hitting it, they'll be interacting with them, and they'll just be looking for validation, and they'll slowly put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, and it's like, hey, you're wishy-washy, you're over here, you're over there, you're nowhere, right? You gotta stand for something, or else you're gonna fall for everything. If you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything, or anything, you'll fall for nothing. If you stand for everything, you'll fall for nothing, right? And so that's another thing. If you Because like I've talked about before, if you identify with that action, you identify with your addiction and that negative substance abuse and or use of that negative action, then it's going to display and it's going to play out in the realms of spirituality, emotional states of being, mental states of being, and the physical state of being. You gotta detach from that stuff. Even if you are doing moderation and you are involved in substance use, you gotta detach from what comes with that and only take what you need or what you think you so-called need. And a lot of times you guys don't even need this stuff, and it's just going to end up taking toll, affecting you down the road. And if you're still watching this video, thank you. Thank you for the support. And I'm doing a little bit different in this video, primarily because I'm just dead exhausted. I can't really think right now. I can't really use my brain right now, so I'm just kind of freestyling. But yeah, 11 months, 16 days without nicotine. You know, mentally, I feel stronger, more detached from nicotine than ever. Stronger in forms of not having any really thoughts of relapse, thoughts of anything having to do with nicotine, and in fact the opposite, knowing and realizing that I'm having, my thoughts are telling me, you know, I'm using my mind in a way where, hey, like I explained, I'm not really telling my thoughts that doesn't sound right. What I mean is, I'm already having the thoughts of, there's more to come, there's more work to put in, and that's the point I was trying to explain. And so physically, I am absolutely, like I said, vitalizing the physical state of being, treating the body as the temple, and you reap what you get it. You're gonna get out what you put in, and that's gonna show. And take care, everyone out there, take care. I always say, hey, be safe, stay protected, and all that stuff. And peace to you as well, as because we're living in times, and these times that we're living in are interesting nonetheless. They are very illuminating, very enlightening times, I could say, and we're just going to continue to go, continue reaching for the top regardless of what anyone says. You know, they can't tell you where you're going. You know where you're going. A lot of times people think that they have a certain image of what you're doing, what you think you're doing, or what you're going, and the truth of the matter is, you know that's right for you, and you know what's actually right for you. And at the end of the day, yeah, you can take the support, because real support the real, and that support is also given both ways, because that's balance right there. That's the respect of real people dealing with other real people. You know, there's gonna be people that, you know, try to get a reaction out of you, try to do this, try to do that, and you gotta dip, you gotta dodge, you know, and that's just what you gotta do. You gotta make it happen, you gotta dip, you gotta dodge, and no matter what, you can get through that, you know, through dipping and dodging. And a phrase that, you know, you can just push through, you know, as to say, you can just push through no matter what. You can get out of that situation, you can reign on top, you can rain down on that day from above, because you put in that work, whereas these other people were, you know, they were more focused on, let's think about this right now, let's think about this right now, when you actually had a much more broader perspective, much more, you saw everything that was playing out and how this stuff is going to end and how this stuff's going to play out behind the scenes, so you don't even have to get involved most of the times, where you can just run things behind the scenes, realizing that something's going to happen there, read the energy there, you know how much to involve yourself in that situation, in that scenario. And that's what it's about, you know, being conscious, being aware of, hey, if I want my energy to be protected, then I'm going to choose who I'm going to be around. I'm going to choose who I share my energy with. And that's how it works with the energy exchange. Now, getting back to the topic, the check-in here, and on this path, this is a fulfilling path of, putting in the work, doing what's right for the reality, doing what's right for the world, and doing right by God, and doing right by myself, and doing right by others, and doing right for others. And that's because, well, you gotta see like this, like all that stuff that came your way, all the things that are happening, are gonna continue to happen, and you're gonna continue to go through, they're making you a much stronger person. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. They're making you into the person you should be. They're making you into a stronger, better version of yourself. So embrace it. Don't shut down, but embrace that. Embrace the change when you can, because there's always change. There's nothing else but constant change in this reality and in this life that we experience currently. So I can say that I'm going to continue on this path regardless. All you out there that are on your path, stay strong, stay consistent, stay in your own power, stay with those that support you, stay with the ones that are real, and real support the real. That's really what I got to say. Thank you for viewing again. I'll see you guys in the next one. That's it. I'm out.